Bhima Subramaniam ji, Ravindra ji, and all the other dignitaries and my colleagues. I take this opportunity to congratulate NAFSCOB for conducting this seminar and also giving us an opportunity to make a presentation. By virtue of my being in charge of Department of Supervision, some of the findings during the course of our inspection especially pertaining to the governance related issues I will be flagging here. It will not be definitely a sweet talk, although I may end with sweet words at the end, but the issues that I am going to flag here will be an opportunity to introspect and probably some more action points for the banks as well as NAFSCOB to flag for future work. The subject for my discussion would be vision for Amrit Kal by and for STCCS and NAFSCOB with reference to issues related to governance and management in state cooperative banks and DCCBs. As you are all aware, cooperative banks or cooperative credit structure in India is more than a century old, and there was a time when the share of cooperatives in the total institutional credit was more than 70%. The economy has grown, the structure has grown, banking system has grown, but as already indicated, the share of cooperatives is significantly reducing. It is also a point to note that despite the contribution of agriculture sector to the GDP has reduced now to almost 12%, there are some banks whose total loan portfolio covers around 80% is for only crop loans. There are many DCCBs which are still continuing to lend to crop loans and nothing else. If the economy is moving in one direction, banks continue to stay where they are, then the growth or the kind of expectation that you have with regard to the cooperative banks contributing significantly to the growth of the economy, you have to take a good introspection. The cooperative banks and PACs, when I say rural cooperative banks, the PACs are also included. Though PACs are outside the ambit of Reserve Bank of India's regulation and NABARD supervision, they are very important segment of the STCCS. They combine the credit business objective and the social objectives. The smallest person should be able to walk into a PACs, become a member, take a loan and run about his business properly. 13 crore members are there, but hardly 5 crore have borrowed. What does it indicate? There are more members who are not able to avail loan, or do they want, don't they want loan? Why are these people become member of the PACs but not availing the loan? So we need to introspect. It should be our first agenda to make them borrow. If they want credit, we should be the first to stop. PAC should be the first to stop. There has been talk that cooperative sector should contribute to at least 30% of the rural economy, and when we talk about $5 trillion economy in the next 5 years, we should be able to contribute 30%. It is a very good ideal, but what has happened in the economy, rural economy per se? It is not commercial banks, it is not RRBs, it is not small finance banks which are competing with you. Who is taking away your customers? It is NBFCs, microfinance institutions and fintech institutions who have leveraged their technology very well, who have understood the credit needs of the borrowers, who go to their doorstep, organize them into small groups, give loan. Maybe it is costly. Can we continue to afford to say that my loans are cheap? I will give only at say 7% as per the government dictate, but then I don't look at any other credit needs. I don't diversify my products. This is where we probably lose out. So in the Amrit Kal, in the next 25 years, when we talk about 2047, the country should become prosperous, it should be inclusive, and the development should be sustainable. How does this entire thing happen? It should be through good governance, it should be through infrastructure development, it should be through economic growth, there has to be social justice and environmental sustainability. These are the pinpoints which make the Amrit Kal very relevant. Now what is the role for the cooperative banks? All these 5 points are very much relevant for cooperative banks. In fact, more relevant in the functioning of the cooperative banks. They will be able to align themselves with the national objective in a much better manner, because cooperative is for the last person. So when you look at this angle, we need to introspect, where is the lacuna, where is our lacuna that we should improve, so that more customers, in fact during the COVID and slightly before that, because of the advent of new institutions, because of the technology and because of the varied products being offered by other institutions, many good borrowers have moved away from cooperative sector. Have you made any effort to understand why they have left you? Have you made any effort to understand what was their other credit requirements or other product requirements, and have you tied up with other institutions to make these borrowers come back, these customers come back? The answer appears to be no. We appear to be happy with what we are doing. Maybe it is a burden, maybe because you have limitation of technology, maybe you have limitation of resources, maybe you have limitation of management. But then when you are looking at Amrit Kal, when you say, I want to align with the Government of India's objective, by 2047 the India will be a developed country and cooperatives will play a very significant role, then we have to stand today and look back, where are we, and then we need to change our orientation. 7 universally accepted cooperative principles, all are available, all are on paper, but we have to ask ourselves at the governance level, at the management level, whether we are following these principles in letter and spirit. Just I am putting this question, let us introspect ourselves and then ask whether my institution is following these principles in letter and spirit. Open and voluntary membership. Have I created any barrier for some members to come in? Have I made somebody a passive member? This is one issue which we need to look at the management level. Democratic members' economic participation. Am I meeting the all service requirements? PAX means it is not just for credit, it should be for multi-purpose. It should be a one-stop shop. That is a revised way in which we are looking at the PAX. Autonomy and independence, education, training, information, cooperation among cooperatives and concern for the community. So these are some of the lofty ideals that we have kept for cooperative 7 principles. At each institution, we need to look at, and governance being the leader in the entire cooperative structure, we need to introspect and see whether all these 7 principles are being implemented in letter and spirit, and is it for the good of the community. I will move on to some of the areas which we have had and some of the initiatives that Government of India has been taking. The PACs being the backbone of the cooperative agriculture credit system, but they are facing with lot of deficiencies and operational problems. They need to become transparent, operationally efficient. This is one area where, because of the lack of professionalism in their operation, lack of even manpower, I find some of the societies being managed by one secretary managing 4 or 5 PACs in some states. And their operations are being manually maintained, and many times it is only for the limited purpose of dispersing crop loan in a matter of 2-3 months, and then the rest of the period they are not operating. So in such situations, it will become as a cutting edge at the grassroots level. They will be very ineffective mechanism. So DCCBs in many places will be compelled to take up lending at the grassroots level, bypassing the PACs. So strengthening PACs with regard to their governance, their operation through computerization, and enhancing their activities. It should not be credit-oriented activity, but it should be multi-service. Like credit should be one of the activities, but there should be many other services which any farmer in the local area would require, farmer and non-farmer. So project on computerization has been already taken up. Then there is need for bringing in all the farmers, whether PACs being area-oriented, whether all the farmers in the area are covered within them, then whether PACs are being strengthened through model bylaws. So some of the initiatives taken by Government of India includes setting up a cooperation university. So this, I hope this will spread the professionalism among the cooperatives in a big manner. This may give a boost. And cooperation university should become the fulcrum of knowledge dissemination and bringing out professionalism among the cooperators. Then formation of new cooperative policies and unveil. Then STS strengthening a committee is formed under NABARD's chairmanship. That report also will likely to give some suggestions which will enhance the effectiveness of STS and linking of PACs with the GEM portal. Then world-class warehousing infrastructure on a pilot basis is being thought of. So these are some of the initiatives that already some fillip is being given at the government of India level and at the state government. Many state governments are responding very positively. What is expected at the cooperation institution level is strengthening the governance and management levels. Now, when I use the word corporate governance, I have come across resistance from various quarters. Why should we transport the principles of corporate governance to a cooperative institution? So I would like to say that let us not call it corporate governance, let us call it cooperative governance. What exactly is corporate governance? They have also not come out with anything. It is more of a rule-based management. Anything should be done in a transparent manner, anything should be a rule-based, and there should be a better risk appreciation, and then there has to be transparency and accountability in whatever you do. So forget about corporate governance, but even if you call it a cooperative governance, you should be in a position to appreciate what is your role and whether are you doing in a transparent manner and whether those are giving results. When I look at this, I find, based on my inspection experience, in corporate governance or cooperative governance principles, our cooperative institutions score maybe 2 or 3 points out of 10. So there is so much of scope for improvement. In fact, if I list out some of the deficiencies which I observed, you find that you call yourself a bank, but you are not functioning like a bank. I am not generalizing. There are, within 354 DCCBs and 34 state cooperative banks, I have at least the top 10 banks who will compete shoulder to shoulder with the best of the banks in the country. This also is one fact. But I also have the bottom 25 to 30% institutions which cannot be called bank. Their functioning appears to be an apology for functioning of a bank. I can cite a very recent example. If you are not appreciating the role of capital in the bank, if you are not appreciating the importance of CRR, which regulator takes it as one of the parameters for your functioning as a viable institution. Very recently, I have come across a situation where some of the PACs have refunded their loan, they have repaid the loan. The entire share capital has been allowed to be withdrawn. With the result, the bank, which was B grade in the previous year, in a matter of 4 months, have come to section 11. CRR has become minus. And their refrain is, we have written to RBI 3 times that we want to refund the share capital. See, RBI regulation is one part. Second part is, should you not understand yourself what is the role of capital? Should you not retain your capital? When you have become minus, your very existence is threatened. So this is one of the examples. Yeah, other examples are there where indiscriminate lending takes place, fraud takes place with the total knowledge of the management, or a bank which was functioning so well in a matter of 4 or 5 months' time degrades into a negative CRR position. I don't want to name the banks, but you must be aware. But these things are pointers to issues which are not going all that well. So what are the improvements that I would like to recommend? See, governance improvement should be strengthening the board oversight. That is lacking in most of the banks. The oversight on the happenings in the bank. Many times board members are caught unaware what is happening in their bank. Only after the issues have happened, after the events have happened, and they say we were not aware, we did not monitor. Mainly with regard to technology issues or with regard to NPA management or frauds happening. Improving risk management practices, risk appreciation and risk management practices are almost absent. When I talk this, it appears to be a bigger jargon, but there is an urgent need for education of the board members with regard to the risk aspects. Enhancing internal controls. If I look at 352 banks and 34 state cooperative banks, the internal checks and control paragraph looks it gives me nightmares. Most of the banks do not have a strong internal checks and control. There are reconciliations pending for ages, frauds happening left, right, center, cyber incidents happening involving larger amounts happening day in and day out, frauds taking place. So when I look at these things, it is not a good situation. So in summing up, I say there has to be a greater emphasis on proper and efficient governance and management, where NAFSCOB has an important role to play. It has to, as a guide and leading the light, they have to educate. Maybe they have to conduct workshops and seminars for board members on a continuous basis. They should take up coaching of the CEOs. They have to bring the best practices, study the banks which have gone bad. In fact, you can develop case studies. The banks which have gone from a best bank to a worst bank in a matter of 2 years, then you should be in a position to study and disseminate what made these banks go bad. Similarly, there are instances of banks turning around. How these banks have turned around? What made it? Is it the CEO who made the difference? Is it the board leadership which made the difference? So it is not the court cases. It is not the fraud recoveries which makes. It is a leader in the board, leader in the CEO which makes the difference in the bank. So this aspect need to be taken into account, and lot of theoretical and ideological inputs are required from both NAFSCOB side and also from, of course, our institutional development department, and our own training centers of NABARD have a major role to play. So, in fact, I would like to stress upon a few issues, like especially from the supervisory angle. When I say 22(3)(b), section 22(3)(b) not complied with, more than 1/3 of the banks are not complying with. So this clear indicator to the governance lapses. CRER, nearly 55 banks are not complying. Section 11, 33 banks are not complying. Section 18 and 24, that is CRR and SLR, about 25 banks. So these are indicative that governance is not in total control of the cooperative institutions. So if I flag that, if at all you want to claim that cooperatives become a major player in the nation's vision to become Amrit Kal, when you address this governance issue, I think the rest of the things will fall in place. With this, I hope I have stuck to my time, and I will close my presentation. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you, MD sir, for giving me the opportunity. Dignitaries on the dais and of the dais, respected Chairman NAFSCOB, respected Bihar State Cooperative Marketing Federation's Chairman Dr. Sunil Kumar Singh ji, and respected NCI President Shri Dilip Sanghani ji, and officials of cooperatives, board directors of NABARD. Good afternoon, everybody. I'm very much thankful to NABARD for remembering me and asking me to make a presentation on the technology adoption in cooperatives. There are several points I just wanted to highlight. I will just make a presentation. I will not take more than 15 minutes as advised by MD NAFSCOB. This is about deposits. You know why deposits are coming into picture here in the technology adoption. The deposits of all commercial banks put together stands at 178.62 lakh crores. Near 2009, it was around 38 to 40 crores. So all the commercial banks put together have made progress of around 4.5 to 5 times of their deposits. Whether cooperatives have matched with those, with the performance of all the commercial banks, is a question to be thought of. In Tamil Nadu, it is around 2 to 2.5%, 2 to 2.5 times growth happened in these years. Likewise, advances also. Right now, it stands at 134.51 crores. In this area also, cooperatives have not made progress more than 2 to 2.5 times, whereas the commercial banks put together have made a progress of around 4.5 to 5 times. So even though many banks have adopted technology, whether it has reached the last mile, whether enough marketing strategies have been followed, whether loan origination systems and other things are in place, are all the things which need to be discussed, and we need to focus on improving technology so that we can improve on business. Now the small banks are competing with the cooperative banks. Payment banks have come into play. So this is right time that we think of taking up the challenge and rise further. And one more interesting thing which I wanted to highlight is the age profile. Major economies' age report is presented for you in this slide. If you can see, the profile of India is around 30%, Europe is 39, age is 39. So we have to work on targeting the young generation of customers, which will definitely make us go ahead in the changing times. The payment systems in India over the years have grown in multifold. If you look at during COVID times, it has increased a lot, and it was a blessing in disguise during COVID times. The transaction which are happening is 8,840 crore numbers, and 3,021 lakh crore is the amount of money which is being transferred. We can call this decade as pointed out by Honorable Prime Minister of India. So this is where we have to rise up. In many of the banks, we have payment and settlement system. There are some leading banks in the cooperatives. We see Andhra has done well, Telangana has done well. We have to appreciate. We normally follow leaders. Now they have taken up leadership in payment systems. We have to appreciate the efforts taken by Andhra and Telangana in this regard. And this is high time that every one of us stand up and make this payment system and settlement system as adapt as quickly as possible. And again, in terms of investment in IT infrastructure, if you could see, in the last 3 years, banks have spent nearly 83,129 crores as investment in IT infrastructure, which is almost 2% of their total income. We have to analyze what amount we have invested in improving the technology infrastructure, which is really a worrisome factor. The cooperatives have not invested in technology. We normally depend on governments to support us, but we have a lot of money within the system. Profit-making banks can work out a model so that they develop a technology modernization fund, so that they can develop and they can invest more in technology, and later on we can reap the benefit of technology. And this is a comparison for e-banking and traditional banking. Roughly more than 70% of the people, they are into the e-banking now. Younger generation people in India, they are interested in taking technology as their banking partner. The cost of operations have come down a lot. UPI payment is below 10 paise. That is what the statistics says. There used to be 50 rupees per transaction in those days, in the year 2001 and 2. If a banking friend is helping a customer out, the bank is spending around 50 rupees for each transaction. You know, the ATMs have come into picture, and the cost of transaction in each ATM worked around 18 rupees per transaction. Net banking has contributed a lot. It anyway ranged between 5 rupees to 10 rupees per transaction. And UPI is definitely a revolution in the digital banking system. So we have to ensure that whatever we save in the cost of operation, we should spend in investment in making the infrastructure robust. This is the various products of e-banking that we are using. ATM, credit card, telebanking, internet banking, and mobile banking. Many cooperatives in the sector have adopted this technology, but we have to ensure that all the banks are adopting this technology, so that we can always satisfy the customer. Almost, if you could see, around 70% of the people are interested in adopting technology. 70 to 80% of the people are adopting technology. In the last 15 days back, a few months back, I was talking to one of the senior officers of State Bank of India. They were telling that their online banking system and their online operations are around 85% of the total banking operations, and they are aiming to, they are targeting for 95%. So we have to compare those banks. Now we are competing with everyone. Now we have to compare those banks who are leaders in the technology. If you are not adopting technology, then our customers will wither away without telling the bank. So this is I was telling about this, and cooperatives in India, if you see the last 8th column, our strength lies in the villages. Even though commercial banks have invested in technology and they are reaping the benefits of technology, but our real strength lies in the villages. The cooperatives are extending credit to the farmers, which no one can deny. In Tamil Nadu, more than 50% of the crop insurance is enrolled by only cooperative banks. So these are the areas where we are very strong, and this is a time where we have to think about, I'm not telling about administrative delayering, we have to think about technological delayering. We have to be, the system of member leader should be rethought of, and we have to have a partnership like thing so that all the 3-tier structure work in unison in technology and share the benefits to the members, ultimate farmers and lower recurrence of people. So the cooperative banks, particularly urban cooperative banks and many of the state cooperative banks, many of the DCCBs have adopted the technology, CBS, mobile banking, net banking, UPI, AEPS, ATMs. So all these things are there in the cooperative banking system, but it has to be universal, not several banks making technological advancement. We have to think of even taking the tax into our fold. So I do not want to elaborate more on this because we know how technology helps people, because we are also customer of some bank, and we know how technology helps us in bringing banking into our doorstep. So I'm not going to elaborate on this. And this also, this is one area where we are lacking. In fact, commercial banks, they have dashboard for big customers. They have for big net worth customers, they have specialized banking units. But cooperatives, many of the cooperatives, no, I will not say all the cooperatives, many of the cooperatives are not thought of. And recently, our TNS bank people, they have started mobilizing deposits from big customers, high net worth customers, so that the big businesses will come to us. We can serve the poor people with the amount of income we generate from these big customers. And again, this customer profile, if you look at the customer profile of cooperative bank, anywhere it ranges from 50 to 60. So it is high time that we sit and discuss about how to bring young generation into the cooperative fold. Only technology can bring cooperatives, the customers into the cooperative fold. Nobody wants to step into any bank for any service, particularly fund transactions and other things. Even now, most of the loan systems are being handled through mobile apps. We have recently seen a demo from a private organization where everything is made online, so that even a common man can approach the banking system for availing a loan. No need for submitting an application, inspection and other things. All other things are, and those things are taken care of by the technology. Only visit to the institution where bank is run, or the place where the production is done. These things have to be taken care of by human resources. Tamil Nadu State Upper Cooperative Bank, as you know, it has grown up in technology. We have almost all the facilities done. And we are also looking for, very recently we are looking up for loan origination system, which we wanted to initially introduce with our own cooperative banks, district central cooperative banks and primary agricultural credit cooperative societies. So also DCCBs, all DCCBs have been there in CBS, and very recently IMPS have been introduced in all the DCCBs. And right now we are in implementation of UPIs in DCCBs. By 30th of April, all the cooperative DCCBs will be enrolled in UPI. And we are also thinking of bringing whatever technology that is being adopted in the commercial banks into the cooperative fold. In fact, government is very supportive, state government is very supportive of implementation of technology in the short-term cooperative credit structure. They have rolled up me as coordinator for improving technology in the short-term cooperative structure. So there is a e-commerce. We have been issuing debit cards to all the customers. The DCCBs have to be introduced into the BEPG system so that e-commerce platform is available for all the customers of DCCBs. That also we are now looking at. And debit cards also for safety features. RBI recently advised certain restrictions and suggestions that we are planning to introduce as quickly as possible. And PACS, as you all know, Government of India's initiative of computerization of all PACS is being taken up. In fact, Tamil Nadu originally has taken up this initiative in the year 2008. After various interventions, almost 60 to 70% of the PACS are right now computerized. And with this Government of India initiative, we will be computerizing, and they will be in the online platform by the year end. We have taken up all the PACS at one go in the year 2023-24. And there is one important issue that we have to, this about information security. Recently, our team of officers have visited Telangana Cooperative Bank. They've seen a very good infrastructure that has been made in cyber security. The Cyber Security Operations Center is considered as one of the best in the country in terms of cooperative. I really would like to appreciate the Telangana, the entire cooperatives, not only the state cooperatives. They have not taken care for themselves. They have taken care for all the cooperatives within the state, and it was one of the state-of-the-art center which they have created. I think we should emulate that leadership, and we will ensure that this has to be in place. Because we know the quality of workforce in the cooperatives, and they have a very good workforce, and we have to improve that workforce so that we can secure all the banks in the advent of information technology initiatives taken by all the cooperatives. So there are several issues which I wanted to highlight. This is regarding we have implemented technology, but the marketing efforts have to be done so that we can take up the technology to the common man. It also improves the business of banking. You know, I was telling you about the State Bank of India's performance. 80% of banking is done online. So we have to look at that way, and we have to do banking online. So that we can cut down on cost of operations and invest more in IT infrastructure. And again, the growth in deposits and advances, growth in business, which is not happening. Most of the customers are getting away from cooperatives because of lack of IT infrastructure, mobile application, and they go out silently. They don't tell you and go. They go out silently. This is one area where we need to concentrate. We need to rope in. We need to have a huge campaign done so that we can get all the customers back into the system. And again, the younger generation people we can attract only through technology. There is no other way to invite them into the banking system. And again, age group of customers I was telling you, the age group must be targeted. Right now, all the cooperative banks in Tamil Nadu, they have 50 to 60. Those who do not want to have their hand in the technology are involving themselves in with the cooperative bank. And this is high time that we think about that, we ensure and enroll younger generation into the cooperative banking fold. And again, the technical manpower has to be increased in cooperative banks. So now we have to have training systems embedded in the whatever cooperative institutions, training institute we have. We have to include latest training programs to the people, to the employees of all cooperative banks. And again, we have to invest more in IT. We have to create a fund so that we can invest more in IT. And my suggestion is to create a technology modernization fund. Now we had earlier we had ATP exemption. Now that exemption is taken away, we have to create, like earlier we had primary cooperative development fund, cooperative education fund, cooperative research and development fund. In Tamil Nadu we have huge amounts in this. Now we have to think of technology initiative by creating a fund called technology modernization fund. So these things have to be taken up. And there are certain restrictions also given by Reserve Bank of India. We are late in entering the technology side. They have prescribed certain conditions and norms for mobile banking and net banking. Those things have to be reworked, and we have to enroll all the DCCBs into the net banking and other banking. We have to make them eligible. Now, putting conditions, no, they will not come. No, they will be remaining outside the technology thing. So, these, I suggest a working group or a standing committee, either formed by NAFSCOB or by NABARD, to work on these items and represent on behalf of all DCCBs, so that we can reap the benefit of technology in the years to come. Technology has changed many institutions in the country. Right now, in front of us, Mr. Bhaskaran, former CGM and former Chief Executive of Indian Institute of Banking Finance is sitting. Now, he is also making a presentation. Earlier, before he entered the Indian Institute of Banking and Finance, at that time it was called Indian Institute of Banks. He has made it Indian Institute of Banking and Finance. Through technology, he has made that institution a great institution. Now, I think we have to appreciate him. So many courses he has introduced, and it is now a fantastic organization disseminating education curriculum to all the people, particularly banking people in India. So likewise, now technology, and IFCO, Chairman IFCO is here. IFCO has made a lot of strides in technology, and they are one of the best in the country. So they have very long time back, they have in the year 90, late 90s, they have invested a lot of money in IT infrastructure development. Right now, they are the world's best in that category. So these things we have to continuously work on and improve. These are the few issues just I wanted to highlight. This is the right time we adopt technology. Otherwise, in another 10 years, we will be nowhere. Particularly the age profile of customer, what we have right now, will diminish, and we may not be able to survive in the market, except few banks which have adopted technology. But this is high time that now NAFSCOB should prevail and push all the cooperative banks in the country to become technologically advanced. With these few words, I thank all the members, particularly NAFSCOB, for giving me an opportunity to discuss further. Thank you very much.
On the behalf of Ministry of Cooperation, Government of India, I am here for this presentation on this National Cooperative Database. This is one of the, out of almost 30 initiatives Ministry has taken in last more than 1.5 years, after creation of new ministry on 6th July 2021. And this is also one of the important project of the ministry, creating a National Cooperative Database. We are very thankful to the NCUI also. Earlier this work was handled by the NCUI. There were several hurdles because the resources and cooperation with the state governments, other agencies. Being a ministry at the central level, then ministry took the initiative, okay, let's start the very comprehensive database at the national level. Definitely NCUI, Singhani sir is here itself. They are a very close association in this database. We are taking so many discussion, consultation with them also while we are moving ahead in this National Cooperative Database. Let's say this is the overview of this National Cooperative Database. After several rounds of consultation with all stakeholders, here I mean that all state governments, national state federations, institutions like NABARD, and other academic institutions also in the field of the cooperative sector. Then proposed database will function as the main planning tool. That is the target of main planning tool for cooperative sector, central ministry, state government, for all that. Then database, other target of the database, that because this Honorable Minister also is very closely watching this progress of his database, and under his guidance, we are all taking the the development of this database. That this database will also help in finding the gaps and vacuum. In the morning session also someone is talking about the diverse nature of the cooperative movement in the country. That is why here our target is the finding the gaps and vacuum, then establishes the linkage also, vertical linkage, backward and forward both, because STCB have the downward membership, STCB have the upward membership also, similarly for DCCB and other side. In credit sector, the structure is clear, 3-tier or the 2-tier, the structure is clear, but the other sector, if you move to the other sector, like fishery and that consumer cooperative and the cooperative, the structure is not clear, so as compared to the cooperative sector. That is the establishes the linkage also, and if the linkage is missing, the that policy maker has the task of the establish this message linkage also. And then this database is not going to be in the one go, like several census are going in the country, and past also population census, economic census, and so many other census. Here we are planning this database in the phased manner. At this present, we are envisaging it in the 3 phases. Phase 1 from December 22-23 already completed. Under this phase, I will also come the detail of this phase, what we have did in that. Phase 2 is in progress, just we are going to close it in very soon. And phase 3 is just started, and we are targeting in the June. Then this is the 3 phases at this moment we are envisaging. Then these are the phases of the National Cooperative Database. Mapping of the 2.64 lakh cooperative society, we have already completed it on the 28th February, and we made the presentation to the Honorable Minister also. That is the progress of this National Cooperative Database, sir. Then now we are in the process of validation of this database with the existing source also. NABARD also have some data set of the cooperative society, particularly PACS, DCCB and the STCB. We are also validating with this data set how is there gap or some reporting error and like that. Then establishing vertical linkage, just I have talked to that, where is the linkage are missing, why the primary cooperative are not member of the district level or the state level, the federation or the union. That is why we are establishing the linkage also here. That work is in progress. That's extension of National Cooperative Database to the other credit sector as well as the sugar and MCS. That is a very small phase we are tagging, just started in the last week of the March, and we are targeting the 30th April, and I will discuss this 2 slide on this particularly the other credit sector, and particularly this DCCB and the state cooperative banks. Thus, extension of National Cooperative Database to the remaining 5.8 lakh. 3 sectors we have already covered, PACS, dairy and fishery. These data we have completed the mapping of the all that, and I will show the result also, what result came to us with in this data, that expansion. And we are targeting by June that all 8.5 lakh cooperative societies should be mapped, and anyone sitting in their offices or at any level, even at district level, district magistrate level or DCCB level, they can see how many cooperative of the different sector are working in the district level with them. Then this is the outcome of the phase 1, which we have already completed. Mapping of these 2.64 lakh cooperative society, PACS, LAMPS, FSS, they are the similar in nature. It's come almost 1,600,000 cooperative society are working here. Dairy, we were, when we start this database, we had the initial figure of NCI. That was the almost 2 lakh figure. That come to very crucially down, 1,38,000. And that is a crucial figure. And another important thing about it is that about 30,000, almost 40,000, 30,000 are the non-functional, dormant, dairy cooperative in the country, and 10,000 are under liquidation. Almost 1 lakh dairy cooperative. That is this database will going to play a very crucial role to find the mapping of the all cooperative society in the country. Then fishery, almost this figure, that almost it is the 24 or 25,000 fishery have come into the database. And other important part of this database is the involvement of the stakeholder. all state governments, including that National Federation, State Federation, are involved in this data set. And that 1,120 nodal officers were nominated by the state registrar offices. Either they were in the functional in case of the dairy and fishery, or the direct deputy registrar level office or assistant registrar level office at the district level, where the basic primary cooperative are being registered. Then that data validation, I have told you that we are doing with the state registrar offices and state cooperative banks, DCCB, NABARD, because the vertical linkage, while we are establishing, we will give the data of the packs. Let's choose them who are the member of the DCCB, who are the node of the member of that. And again, that same data set we have already taken from the packs to whom you are associated with the federated. That data set we have already taken, and we are getting the cross-check that. Other important points I should also mention is that financing of this complete project of government area is done by the NCI, added by Singhani sir. This is not the Government of India or the Ministry of Finance don't have the budget for this data cover, because Honorable Minister view was that let's make the stakeholder involved in the process itself. And it almost 12 crore project cost at this moment is being by the Cooperative Education Fund maintained by the National Cooperative Union of India. That is the involvement part. Similarly, the state government also gets the involved. That is the this is the dashboard of this National Cooperative Phase 1. It's not clear here due to this, but all these graph and figure at once you will get that how many are the associated, not associated, functional, non-functional, dormant, and age also when first cooperative were registered along. And this dashboard is available up to district level. You will select your district, you will get all 4-5 major picture from this dashboard itself. And graded dashboard we are creating. For district, you will find all district detail. For state, all state level, and for national. And that ultimately we are planning to provide this dashboard at the even primary cooperative level. This is the picture that at national level we are taking the technology help also to project on the GIS maps. And you will find the cooperative are same but two different picture, two different color structure. First is the number of panchayat served by per credit cooperative packs, like that picture. That is different. And if I work out it on the per village, it will be the different. That is why different picture are coming while we are studying or analyzing the data per village, per panchayat, per household, or like that. Separate picture. That is the crucial situation of the country also, that you will find the different type of the color combination. Then again I have told you that we will go to the state level. I picked here the picture of the UP, and that you will find the district wise structure, how the cooperative are separating there. Then below the state I can go to the district, Jalon district of the Uttar Pradesh. Then all blocks, 9 blocks of the Jalon district, you will find the broader picture, how many packs, how many panchayat, covered, uncovered, partially covered, and like that all these picture you will find. And ultimately a block level, one block level you can find this type of the picture. This is the one block of the Jalon district, Kadora block of the Jalon district. You will find the by name, everything you will find the way. Definitely there is a question still coming at that. Now that even few schemes are already on the ground of the Government of India. I have mentioned these 30-35 schemes. 2-3 are already on the ground. One important first scheme was the on pilot basis, the world largest food grain storage scheme. 11 packs have been picked up for this world largest scheme, and pilot is going on. We took the help of the database itself, but definitely there were some lacuna also in the database. Then again, Honorable Minister as well as the Secretary sir were of the view that state government or the district registrar office should own the data. If they validate the data, if data is wrong, then you should have to check the data, go back to the ground and please get corrected the data. That is why this is the involvement of the stakeholder is must. And then again the second scheme is very important scheme, opening of the new 2 lakh multi-purpose cooperative society. Again the database is going to be used there. That is why first 3 sectors we covered on the priority basis, and then other are coming in the line, and that is the This is the phase 2 where we are covering the all these other credit sector, including the DCCB and STCB. And this is the almost 6,000, very small number of units, but this is very crucial. This phase basically establishing the linkage, missing linkage. How many packs are not member of the DCCB, and some DCCB or the similar type of the bank are not the member of the state cooperative bank, like that linkage. And in the other sector also sugar mill and multi-state cooperative society and some other that. And here this is the phase 3 which I already launched on the 20th April, and this is the situation. And big chunk in this other cooperative is the housing cooperative society, almost 1.5 lakh. Similarly, the other credit and thrift society and tribal service sector, marketing, and these are the almost 5.8 lakh cooperative society. Again, when we will reach to the ground, the figure might come differ, or whenever these non-functional and other will come, the picture will clear in next few months. Then status of data entry by state cooperative banks and DCCB. 3 VC already conducted at the ministry level, and maximum of you have attended these VC. Out of 34 state cooperative banks, 22 state cooperative banks feed their data, their own data, and then their general body member data. And still we are awaiting from 22. I will, next slide I will mention the name also. And that out of 351 district central cooperative banks, only 157 have put their data. And this is the status of the all state. These 22 completed, and the 12 we are awaiting for them. And from this stage or from this platform, I will request all of them who are not submitted their data on the platform. If they are in technical glitches, definitely we are working a new project. There might be some technical glitches also. We are here to assist the all state cooperative as well as district cooperative banks. And then these are the status of the DCCB. In some state, DCCB are not functioning with the 2-tier, but the state-wise structure is there. They have submitted their data. Andhra Pradesh, 13 DCCB have submitted data on the portal. Today, some figure have improved. 4 or 5 more have submitted it. And this is the status of by yesterday. And Uttar Pradesh, we are awaiting very large number of DCCB there, and only 1 have put their data. And other, I will request them to get their data, and so that we can complete the linkage also. Then way forward is from this form, I will request to the NAFSCOB, state cooperative bank representative also here, to expedite the data entry by their own data or their affiliated DCCB data. And under phase 3 we have already launched, but definitely that is with the state registrar offices. And we are planning to launch this National Cooperative Database dedicated to the nation on 6th July. This is the target date we have, and ministry is working under very tight targets. You know that both Honorable Prime Minister as well as the Honorable Cooperation Minister are the taskmaster, and we are working under them, and a very tight situation. And not only the tight, we are enjoying also, because this is the work we are doing for the nation. And that is 6th July is the 2nd anniversary of the Ministry of Cooperation, and we want that at least 4 or 5 projects should be with the people, and they should use that. And then this is the last, when we made the presentation to the Honorable Minister, he gave us the further guidance, expand this database, because today also some people talk about the contribution of the cooperative sector to the GDP. For the financial sector, it is easy, because all transactions are being captured either by NABARD or through RBI. We can easily get out their contribution in the total credit structure and all this financial stuff. But what about the non-credit? Nobody knows. Only we are guessing. There is no authentic data set so far. We can exactly say this is the contribution of the cooperative sector in GDP, in employment, or other indicator. Then other important task handed over by the Honorable Minister is that ranking all these cooperative, major cooperative, by some data-driven decision, like the indicator, Human Development Index. Similar on the pattern, he is guiding us to develop the Cooperative Development Index. We are already ranking the all 36 states, but we did not release it. But for his use, we handed over to that. These are the parameter we use, and these are the ranking of the 20 states. Similar, the ranking of the all state cooperative. For ranking and any developing indicator, we require a sound, authenticated database, so that ranking, so nobody should question. That the database, your decision should prevail. That is the main target of this thing. And this is our context. Just here again we are mentioning in that this is our team, technical team, software team is also working there, and senior officer from the National Informatics Center, NIC, is with us, and then our administrative team headed by me in the Ministry of Cooperation. That's all. Thank you.